Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use Chat AI to grow your YouTube channel. So we're going to talk about how to generate descriptions, titles, thumbnail titles, come up with idea generation, how to get to know your client avatar better, lots of stuff with this AI, and it will help speed up the time it takes to produce content, as well as get your content seen by the right people by having the right title, the right thumbnail, and understanding your viewers overall. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. Hey everyone, Saarenoja here. Welcome to my channel where I help new YouTubers grow on YouTube. Okay, let's get right to it. I'm gonna hop into my screen and share it all. Okay, so here we are in ChatGPT, and like I said in this video, I'm going to walk you through a lot of different ways you can use ChatGPT for growing your YouTube channel. So the first way would be for idea generation. So let's say you have a topic, maybe your niche is sewing. I know a lot of people on my channel that follow my channel are sewers and artists. So we can do maybe those two topics today. I have a lot of requests for those. So let's say you're doing a sewing channel and you're like, I don't know what to create this week for my sewing videos. So you could go in here and you could first ask, I'll just show you a basic way to do it. You could be like, give me 10 ideas for sewing videos for my YouTube channel geared towards beginner sewers. Is that how you spell sewers? Looks like sewers. Probably not right. Here are 10 video ideas for your YouTube channel geared towards beginner sewers. Sewing machine basics, essential sewing tools for beginners, how to sew a straight line. Ooh, that's interesting. Sewing seams, beginner's guide to hemming, sewing a basic pillowcase, how to read a sewing pattern. I think all of these are really great common sewing mistakes and how to fix them. So let's say you found one in here that you really liked. For me, how to sew a straight line sounds really interesting. So let's say you choose that one. So write an outline for number 3 in this list. So write an outline for number 3 in this list. Here's an outline for the video titled How to Sew a Straight Line. Introduction, 1 to 2 minutes. Preparing the fabric, setting up the sewing machine, guiding the fabric, 4 to 5 minutes. Troubleshooting common issues. So it gives you everything that it would think this video would need. And it's also giving you about the time amount of how long it would take to talk about these things. So then you could go through and you could be like, the importance of sewing a straight line, that's probably important. Like you should talk about that and it's a foundational skill and all of that, and encourage, I think this is all great. You could read through, demonstrate this, explain how to do this. Maybe you see something in here, you're like, oh, they don't need to know that. That might overwhelm them. You just delete it. And then you can tell, let's say you don't want them, maybe let's say you don't want to do finishing the stitch. I don't know. Let's say there's something in here you don't like. So then you could go rewrite again, remove step 5 or something like that, and it'll rewrite it again for you with that step gone. So now it's redefined. Or if there's lines you want to remove, or if you wanted to say it in a different way, you can tell ChatGPT to do this in different ways. So this is one way you can start to generate ideas. And then from here, you could even, if you feel like you need a script, if you don't feel like you know enough about this topic, that most of you have proficiency in the topics that you're teaching about online, but if you don't, like if let's say you're a knowledge reporter or something like that, then you could say, write a script for this video. So then it will continue and it will write actual script out for you, and it will even give you ideas for B-roll as well. So you can see it saying on camera, you're going to say this, and then it'll probably say cut to material shot. So it gives you ideas of what to do and how to process your video, like whether you're, talking head and then you show the fabric, you talking head, you show something else. So it gives you all that idea here, and it tells you what to say. Let's say this is a tone that you want it to be more casual. So let's say you can stop it while it's typing if you want. You're like, oh, this is way too professional sounding. This isn't, but let's say it is. You could say rewrite again, more casual, or more professional, or whatever it is that you want, or more, use more tech words, or I don't know, however you want to say it, whatever you want to do, you could do that. So now it's like, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're tackling one of the most important sewing skills. It sounds simple, but it can make or break your projects. And so it's saying it a little differently than if we go back up here where it's like, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you one of the most important skills you'll need as a beginner sewer, how to sew a straight line. So this is a very different language than this version. Welcome back. We're tackling one of the most important sewing skills. So it just has a little different tonality to it. So you can teach ChatGPT to speak like you and use your language or your terminologies the way you speak with it. So this is one way you can generate ideas. And you can always say, like, if that list of initial ideas up here, beginner's guide to hemming. I don't know much about hemming, but there's probably hemming for different things. So you could say, okay, I would like to do a series on topic number 5. Could you give me a list of ideas for a 4-part video series on hemming? So then it will say, okay, and it'll give you, I didn't write that the best. You could prompt it better, but here's a 4-part series idea for hemming, perfect for your beginning sewer audience. And the reason I say, like, start to think about in series is because you could have playlists. You could have part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. So once it's created and people on your channel, then they will stay on your channel longer, because they'll realize when they're watching part 3, oh, there's a part 1 of this. If 3 is too advanced, they can go back to part 1. Then they can watch from the beginning. If part 3 is good for them, they can continue to part 4. So it's so anyway, you can use that. So now it has 4 different parts of this video series. So hemming basics, how to sew, hemming delicate fabrics, hemming heavy fabrics. So you can, that's some more ideas how you can think about how to make it into a series or something that you could put into a playlist. So that's one way to start generating ideas. And then of course from here you could say write an outline for each of these parts, and then you could say write a script for each of these parts. You could modify it, all of that sort of thing. So that's one place you could start. Another thing you can do is not just say, give me a list of ideas for a sewing channel, but you could say, act as a beginner sewer and tell me how you are feeling as a person who doesn't know how to sew. So this would be like getting into the minds of your audience. So as a beginner sewer, I feel a mix of excitement and nervousness. I've always admired people who can sew, and I really want to make my own clothes and do little DIY projects. But at the same time, I feel overwhelmed because there's just so much I don't know yet. The sewing machine seems intimidating. All the terms like stitch length, tension, and hemming kind of make me feel lost. I'm also a little worried about making mistakes, like ruining fabric or not being able to follow patterns correctly, etc., etc., etc. Why would you want to do this? Because you want to know how your audience is feeling and what they're facing, so that when you present your ideas, you can be like, I know that you're probably feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness with sewing your first straight line, but we are going to do it. It's going to be fun, and we're going to make it simple. And know that the sewing machine doesn't need to be an intimidating thing. It can be very simple, and I'm going to break it down for you in this video. So you're addressing intimidation. You're addressing this excitement, but also nervous. You're addressing that they don't know so much, but that you're going to make it simple for them, right? So this helps you to kind of clarify how they're feeling. Of course, you could do create a client avatar for a beginner sewer, right? So that would also kind of give you an idea of what this person would be like. So here's an example of what a client avatar could be for your channel. But I think that going in and having ChatGPT act as the beginner sewer and then tell you how it's feeling or how they're feeling, it's really great insight into that. So this too will give you kind of an idea of what they're experiencing, like their challenges, limited knowledge of sewing terms, needs clear beginner-friendly guidance, unsure about troubleshooting common sewing machines. So this is basically telling you the same info, but the way it's telling it to you, I think, is much more valuable in this way, right? Because then you know the language beginner sewers are using, you know what they're facing, what they're feeling when they come to your channel, like total frustration. Okay, so you are going to solve that problem. You are going to show them that sewing is possible, that it's not hard, and that you have been sewing for 20 years and you know how to break it down so easy. So please don't be intimidated. I'm going to get you through this, kind of, like let them know you're here for them and you know how to help them and you know what they're feeling. Because when you know what they're feeling, they'll relate to you. They'll be like, oh, she gets it. She gets what I'm feeling. She's been there before, and you bring that into the videos, and then they really, they start to build a rapport with you because you understand them on a deeper level than just this client avatar of needs clear, friendly guidance. Like it's very different if this makes sense. Hopefully this makes sense to you. So that's another way you can use ChatGPT. You could also say, as a beginner sewer, give me a list of common questions they have. Or I should say acting as a beginner sewer, sorry. but it figured out what I meant. So, because it says I might have. So how do I thread my sewing machine? What type of fabric should I start with? What's the difference between stitch length and width? All of these things. So hopefully anyone that's watching that is into sewing, you can start to see a bunch of ideas, and it's giving you a ton of ideas. So you could do all of this same thing for your niche. If it's art, if it's finance, if it's whatever it is, you could do these things. Okay, so that's idea generation, getting to understand your audience and what they need. The next thing I want to say is you can use ChatGPT to write your descriptions of your videos. You could use it for creating titles, thumbnail titles, keywords, all of these things. So let's say I'll give an example from one of my clients. One of my clients in one of the calls was like, I have all these things I've done in my life, all these experiences I've done, but I don't know how to create a title for those. And I was like, okay, so what's an experience you've had that's really interesting that you would want to share? And he's like, well, I was at the Paris Fashion Week. I did the hair for the models or something like that before they went out on the runway. And so it was like, and he was a very young hairstylist at the time. So it was like his debut a moment into the world of fashion and hair. So he was like, I just don't know how I would even write about that, or what I should say about that, or what's interesting about that. But he said it was a really, like, it was an impactful moment in his life. So I was like, well, let's go on ChatGPT and ask, like, okay, I had an experience as a new hairstylist at Paris Fashion Week. I know Paris should be capitalized, but I'm not worried about that stuff, where I got to do all the hairstyles. I don't really know much about this stuff, the terminology, hairstyles for the models before they walked down the runway. It was a crazy time and hectic, but totally a rush and great experience. I know I'm misspelling things, as a new and upcoming hairstylist. Could you give me some ideas of how I could create a YouTube video about this, and also give me a catchy title for this idea, or for this memory or experience rather? And then we can see what it says. So it's thinking, here are a few ideas for how you could create a YouTube video based on your experience as a new hairstylist at Paris Fashion Week, along with some catchy title options. Story time, behind the scenes at Paris Fashion Week. A day in the life of a hairstylist at Paris Fashion Week. 5 things I learned as a new hairstylist at Paris. I cannot, this is like a tongue twister for some reason. Recreate iconic runway hairstyles from Fashion Week. Oh, Paris Fashion Week. I should not have picked this topic. But anyway, so you can see all these different ways. And then there's catchy titles. Here's one, behind the glam. I think that would actually be good, because that industry is all about glam and looking fabulous and being pretty and all of these things. So behind the glam, my hectic experience as a hairstylist at Paris Fashion Week. Like, I think that's a really great title. You can see that you get a lot of ideas. One idea is like, sit down and share a detailed personal account of your experience. So kind of like a vlog style thing. The next one is break down the entire day from start to finish. So what it was actually like a timeline, kind of a day in the life. And then 5 things I learned. This is another way you could break it down. You could share practical tips and lessons you learned from that experience. And then you could recreate iconic runway hairstyles from that. So you could walk viewers through a tutorial on how to create some of the hairstyles that you did on those models. So there's so many ideas from this one experience, right, that ChatGPT is giving you, which I think is fantastic. So let's say you liked this title the best, behind the glam, my hectic experience as a hairstylist at Paris Fashion Week, but you want it to be shorter. So rewrite this title shorter and more emotional, maybe emotional. I don't know if that's a great idea, great word or descriptive word, but more intense or something. Chaos and glam, my thrilling journey as a Paris Fashion Week hairstylist. I like this better than behind the glam, my hectic experience as a hairstylist at Fashion Week, right? Paris Fashion Week. Oh my God. Sorry, you guys. But it's quicker. Chaos and glam, my thrilling journey as a Paris Fashion Week hairstylist. Gets the point across much faster. Thrilling journey. Sounds exciting. I think this is a much stronger title. But then if you didn't like it, you could say, let's say you didn't like the journey word. Maybe journey, you don't like journey. So you think it's overused or something. Replace the journey word with something else, please. So then it can then adjust it. Chaos and glam, my thrilling adventure. Yes, I like that better. It sounds more fun. It sounds more adventurous. I like that. That's more my style, right? So then you can say this one. I'm going to choose this one. Then you can say, okay, make a thumbnail title that relates to this topic, but uses different keywords to describe it, or uses different keywords, and is only, because we want it really short, punchy, is only 3 or 4 words long. So now we have our title, Chaos and Glam, My Thrilling Adventures at Paris Fashion Week Hairstyles. Then the thumbnail could be Styled in the Spotlight. That is really, actually, that's a really great one. Styled in the Spotlight. I like that. It's S and S. Styled Spotlight. And you could say, okay, I like this. Or you could just say, okay, give me, or list, give me. So like, give me. So I've been around my kids too much. Okay, list 5 more ideas. So then it'll give you some more ideas. Although usually the first one is the best. Runway hair magic, behind the scenes hair chaos, glamour under pressure, hairstyling in overdrive. Hairstyling in overdrive, I kind of like that one. There's something nice about that one. Fashion week, hair friendly. Could you, so let's say I like number 4. Could you give me more versions of number 4? Hairstyling at full speed, hairstyling on overdrive, fast-paced hairstyling madness, hairstyling in hyperdrive. So it'll give you more ideas. So this is how you can use it to get your titles and your thumbnails, get ideas for your channel, also understand the emotion of your audience, create a customer avatar for your channel just so you have an idea of someone in mind. And then lastly, you could also say, okay, write a keyword heavy, rich description for this video idea and utilize words from the fashion and hairstylist industry as it appeals to a consumer. So that way it's going to give keywords that relate to someone that's searching for these things. So let's see what it says. Join me as I take you behind the scenes of Paris Fashion Week, where I had the incredible opportunity to style hair for stunning runway models. It's this exhilarating villa. You get an exclusive glimpse in the fast-paced world of high fashion with glamorous hairstyles, creative techniques, and sheer chaos of preparing for the runway. Okay, already I feel like this is way too much words and not enough keywords. So I'm going to say make it shorter and more to the point. Join me behind the scenes of Paris Fashion Week. That's a keyword. Styled hair. That's a keyword. Runway models. Keyword. Whirlwind of glamour, keyword. Creativity, probably a keyword. Is in this thrilling video, you get an exclusive look at the fast-paced world of high fashion, another keyword. World of high fashion, longer tail keyword. Featuring stunning hairstyles, another keyword. And essential hairstyling techniques, another keyword, or long tail keyword. Watch as I transform everyday hair into runway-ready masterpieces. A runway-ready, those types of things. Picture of styling in high-stakes environment. Discover the must-have tools and products every hairstylist needs to achieve flawless looks. Flawless looks, products, looking good, pretty, all of these things, great. That's all this. This is much better version. And then the keywords that it's using are here that it's listing. Let's say you have certain keywords you want to enter. Rewrite and insert, maybe hair extensions. Hair extensions, highlights, and coloring, something like that, so that you get more words from your industry in here. So it's going to rewrite it and it's going to add in those things. So if people are searching for how to do hair extensions, how to highlight, how to color my own hair, or what should I look for when I'm coloring hair, they might find this video relating Fashion Week and then find you, the hairstylist that went there, and go from there. So now it has a behind the scenes. Let's see where it put those words. Yeah, a world of high fashion featuring stunning hairstyles, hair extensions, highlights, and coloring techniques. Boom, it's in there now. So that gives it more keyword rich that you're looking for. So you can modify it all you want. And I think that this is a really great way. So now we have done titles, thumbnails, description, emotions of your audience, and also idea generation. And now, lastly, before I before I stop, I want to keywords. So keywords, so when you upload your video, there's a place to put tags, and in the tags section, you can do keywords. So give me a list of keywords separated by commas for this video when I upload to YouTube. There we go. And the reason I say separated by commas is you can just basically, you can copy and paste this. So you would select all of this, like highlight it, Control C, Control V, and paste it into your tags. Otherwise, it'll give you a list, a numerated list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'll have to copy each word individually into YouTube, which is annoying. This way, if it's separated by commas, it automatically knows when you put it in there separated by commas that it's a different word or a different keyword. So that's a quick hack to save you some time. And of course, if you want to add in some words to this list or take some out, you can tell ChatGPT to do that, and those sorts of things. But hopefully this will help you kind of streamline the process of writing titles or coming up with ideas or even scripting your videos, those types of things. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and see you in the next video.